Hey everybody, it's Eric from Bill Spencer Chevrolet, and today I'm starting off my new video series with showing you guys this absolutely gorgeous Corvette 2018 Z06 3LZ. It's an automatic, the 8-speed automatic with paddle shifting. It's got the beautiful Z06 supercharged engine in it. I'll be showing that to you guys in a second. Wheels are blacked out. The carbon flash ground effects package, and you can see it's got the aggressive rear wing here as well. It's convertible, and this guy is ready to sell. Let's go around and check out all the nice features. So the badging is the carbon flash painted badging, as you can see here, instead of the standard chrome. You have the curb view cameras in the front, carbon flash ground effects along the bottom. This is it with it's got the tall wings mounted on the side here. It does have a shorter stubby version for if you're afraid of curbing your the wings here. You can install the stubby ones and it brings it in a little bit closer, a little less aggressive. This guy also has the Z07 track package. I don't know if you can see here, but it's a carbon ceramic brake rotor, and this thing is massive. It's literally that thick, and you have giant 6-piston Brembo calipers to stop the car real fast. You've got the Michelin, what are they? The Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires, which, as you can see, I'll get you a better view in a bit, but those are track tires essentially. All of the grip in these guys, gonna have no problem going around any corners. You can see, as I showed on the other side, Z06 supercharged badging, the carbon flash ground effects here as well. The wings are also, or the wing mirrors are also carbon flash ground effect, or painted as well. And yeah, it's one beautiful car. The Z06 taillights are clear instead of the standard Stingray and the Grand Sport. Those ones are red. More carbon flash badging in the back here. The dual mode performance exhaust in the back, same setup as a Stingray essentially, but just with the giant supercharged engine on it. And back around, same thing as the other side. These are actual working cooling ducts. This brings in air for the differential and transmission coolers, and then the air is exhausted out the back here. You guys didn't actually know that. Alright, so let's have a nice little walk around with the top going down here. Ain't that a thing of beauty? Okay, so let's move on to what's hiding under the hood here. Hood lifts forward and you can see this beautiful LT4 supercharged engine, guaranteed 600 foot-pounds of torque, 650 foot-pounds of torque and 650 horsepower. Nice Z06 cross flag emblem on the bottom side of the hood. And you got your brake fluid reservoir, washer fluid reservoir here. Go around to the other side, see the beautiful Jake logo on the hood. You have radiator fluid here, dry sump, oil is here, and your dipstick. Okay, so let's check out the inside. Let's start with the door here. Part of the 3LZ package is you get memory seating for the driver position. Now the whole driver seat and the steering wheel are all power, the whole thing. So if you see here, I set it for the easy exit option, or the driving position. You can move the whole thing, have it set up for however you want it. And you can also have it automatically recall these settings for when you get in and out of the car. For those who don't know, the doors are electronic. That's what this button is here. That's for opening it up. So if we get inside now, close up the door, get in the driving position. I'll just do a quick walkthrough of what you get in the 3LZ as opposed to the 2LZ or the 1LZ. So let's go from left to right. We have a heads-up display. There's the button for the convertible top. And paddle shifters for the automatic transmission. Cruise control, all standard stuff. These buttons here control the information on the screen. I'll get that to in a minute. I'll just turn on the accessories. So you have ventilated and heated driver and passenger seats. You have the automatic dual zone climate control. Here's your 12-volt cup holders. Mode selection as well as traction control off. The electronic parking brake here. And in your little glove compartment, which is a nice leather-wrapped top here, you have another 12-volt port, USB ports, 3.5mm. Is all in there, so you can stick your phone in here. USB cables can come in and out of that little spot there. And then also this screen button opens up the screen. As you can see inside here, you have another USB port and enough space in there for a few odds and ends. The rear view mirror is auto dimming as well as is frameless. As you can see, you have the OnStar controls up on the screen there. Another nice feature is the driver's side mirror here. That's also auto dimming, so you're not going to get blinded whenever you look in that to see what cars you're disappearing behind you. Excuse me. Okay, so shall I start her up? Fuel level low, so we'll just clear that out. Absolutely gorgeous sound. Never get tired of that. So as you can see, ventilated and heated seats. There's 3 levels for each. Don't know how well you can see that, but on the dash, if I go up here, you can see you have speed, you have digital information system in the middle here, fuel and pressure coming from the supercharger. So now if you switch modes, there's touring mode. That'll change the information you have on the screen. So it shows you what's really important. You still have the tach, but now the speed is really big in the middle. And then if I press the left button here on the steering wheel, I'm in performance information. There's also an info mode. I personally prefer the performance because then it's showing you engine temperature, oil pressure, battery voltage, tire pressures, all that jazz. There's also an eco mode, which will engage the active fuel management, so you'll burn a little bit less gas when driving down the highway. And weather mode, which is for driving in rain, snow, ice, things this car will probably never actually see. Touring mode, then you go up to the sport. That opens up the exhaust, as you can see there, and then it displays just the tachometer, the oil pressure, and engine temperature there. It's things that you really need to know when you're doing some spirited driving. You can still refer to the speed gauge here for your information on how fast you're going. And then my favorite setting, track, shows you RPM gauge. Speed is really minuscule here. You can get lap times. There's a shifter light. Then it shows you all your temperatures, tire pressures, and everything, letting you know what information you need there and what the information should be at as well. G-forces, other things are also available there. So when we get to the center here, the 3LZ also comes with the performance data and video recorder. So different laws for when you're using it. It's not legal to use everywhere. This is for if you're doing a track event or spirited driving around a loop or anything like that. There's a little video camera in the dash, in the center here above or in front of the rear view mirror that records the video viewing out the front, and it'll record that, and then it'll have an overlay on the video showing your speed, G-forces, whatever information you feel like showing there. But we'll get out of that. Another nice thing to have, this car has curb view cameras. So this is a view out the front of the car from those two cameras I pointed. They view down and forward. So if we move forward here real quick, you can see if you're going to hit any curbs there. Again, if you put in reverse, there's your backup camera. You can see what's going on, and those lines correspond to where the wheel is pointing. You have temperature setting here. You can change what you want. Press auto and the car does everything else. But if you want to override, you have your fan speed, you have your location, fan air's coming out, everything. This thing also has onboard navigation, which is becoming obsolete with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Alright, so that's the gist of the interior of the cockpit of the car. Oh, and I also forgot to mention the heads-up display. I don't know how visible it is here, but it displays information relative to what you have going on the dash. And as you change performance mode, it changes the information up on the heads-up display. So there's sport mode here, and touring mode just shows it the speed. Of course, that is totally customizable as well. All right, let's take a look somewhere else in this car. Let's see what it looks like in the passenger seat. Well, here we are in the passenger seat. As you can see, there's not a whole lot going on here. You have your 2.0 shit handles. You have the ability to change your own climate control here, as well as fan speed or heating in the passenger seat. Lock and unlock in, you can open and close your window, and you can get out. That's pretty much the gist of it. A couple of things I'd like to point out that you get in the 3LZ that you don't get in the 2LZ is a lot of nice interior features. For example, absolutely everything is wrapped in leather in this car. The whole dash is wrapped in leather, the doors are wrapped in leather, the armrests are wrapped in leather, your knee pads, the whole dash, like I mentioned, the center console here, everything's wrapped in that leather. Another thing that's easy for me to point out when I'm inside the car is the A-pillars here, all the way across and back down the other side, are wrapped in suede microfiber. Now that's nice, not just because it's a nice softer surface, but it's not as reflective, it doesn't produce as much glare, and thus you don't get as much reflection on the windscreen. Makes it easier to concentrate on what you're doing while you're driving. This car also comes with the nice carbon fiber display on the dash here. That's an option you can get as well. Standard is gray or black, like this finish here. So when going around to the back of the car, there's a rubber button here you can use to open the trunk. And that gets you this space back here. Now, it doesn't look like a whole lot, but a lot of the reason for that is because you have this partition here to keep everything in the trunk, but from interfering with the top, which is here, when the top folds down. When it's up, then you get all this extra space you can use in the trunk, and this can just sit down flat, and it's out of the way. Additionally, you have a nice little storage pocket here for use, keeping a few extra things. In addition, to enter the car manually, say the battery's dead in the car or the battery's dead in your remote, you can enter the car via a piece here, which is hidden inside the fob. So you get inside the trunk doing that, and then this is a nice door release. You can pull that and that'll get you into the car. And that is a nice little walk through of this beautiful yellow racing tint coat Corvette Z06 3LZ. Shall we take her for a spin? Yeah, why not? So, sitting in the car here now, what you want to do, put your foot on the brake, push the engine start stop button, wait for the car to load everything up. Yeah, she doesn't have any gas in her right now because she's fresh from the factory and that's just how much they put in it. So let's switch it to sport so it sounds nice. Ignore the OnStar message for the car in demo mode. And pop her into drive. So you can see the curb view cameras popped up there. I don't know how well you can see that, but it did. And now I'm not going to take her on the road because anybody who's going to buy this car does not want to have any more kilometers on this car than it has right now, which I don't know if you can see that, but right now she has 5 kilometers. So I'm just going to cruise around. I'm just going to show you a couple of nice features the car has while driving. One of which, when you change driving mode, it also affects not just the exhaust note, but the car has magnetic selective ride control, and in that, the suspension, when you set it to touring, it softens up, so it's a nice smooth ride. Even though it's got the Z07 performance package, this is a nice comfortable ride right here. You switch it to sport, it tightens up the steering, it tightens up the throttle response, it tightens up the shifting, also it tightens up the suspension, and if I hadn't mentioned it, it opens up the exhaust and tightens up the steering. So now it's nice and louder.
What the hell are you doing?
Ignore her. So it's nice and louder. And then once again, you can switch it to track, which I recommend only really using at the track, because then it makes the suspension incredibly stiff. So every single little bump you hit, you're gonna feel. The steering is incredibly tight and responsive. And the exhaust is even louder, the throttle is even louder, and one thing it really does is it dramatically reduces the stability management, the traction control, all that sort of stuff. So it's really easy to spin up the rear wheels and get this car going sideways, which with 650 horsepower, it doesn't take a lot for that to happen. So I'm going to switch it back into track mode for now. And another thing I can show you is on this shift here you have an M mode. You pop it into that and you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but it says M1. Now I can manually select the gears I want the car to be in. So you get the paddle shifters for that. So I'm just going to go around the back of the building here, make a little bit of noise. So you press the button and it shifts gears. I can shift it again, get it down to third. I wouldn't go any further than that. And now press the downshift and to second. And also downshift to first. So you can hear that. So that's all the driving I'm really going to do now. There's not really much else to show at this point. But if you want to see the car, if you're interested in it, then I invite you down to Bill Spencer Chevrolet. And come talk to myself, Eric Jean. I'd be more than happy to show you the car and whatever else is necessary. Yeah, that's me signing off. I'm just going to put the top up, get it ready to go back in the showroom for everybody's viewing pleasure. And that's me signing off. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you'd like to see more, then like this video, subscribe to my channel so every time I upload another video, you can check it out. There's going to be lots of Corvettes and Camaros involved on this. And yeah, until next time, My name is Eric Jean. I work here at Bill Spencer Chevrolet, and I hope to hear from you soon.